of Jackson Staff Spotlight, and today we feature the City of Jackson's Public Information Officer, Aaron Dimick. Hi, Aaron.
Hello, Bart. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Did you have a good, thank you. Have a nice holiday?
Oh yeah, it was great.
Great.
Good mix of visiting, traveling, but also rest and relaxation.
Nice, because you're not a native Jacksonian.
No.
And that might surprise people because it appears you have a lot of love and affection for Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson's definitely my adopted home, and really love living here for sure.
What's your hometown?
I'm from Marysville, which is on the Canadian border, along the St. Clair River in St. Clair County, and just next town south of Port Huron.
I think people around here are familiar with that because Lou and Christy played Marysville.
Yes. My first time coming to Jackson was actually for football. My uncle was on the Marysville football team, and they were playing Lumen Christie, so we ended up coming to Jackson. So my first memory of Jackson is seeing those skyscrapers.
Yeah, well, they had I think several years they played each other. So you ended up in Jackson not for the PIO job, but you came here for a different reason.
Yeah, I was in the TV news business for almost a decade. I was an on-air news reporter for 7 years, and I wound up in Jackson and was lucky enough to get a job reporting for WLNS. And
so after you left WLNS, you joined the city, and you followed. I think you're only the second ever.
That's right.
PIO.
Yeah, I wanted to continue in the TV news business, but just couldn't really find the right opportunity, and I was really tired of moving around. I had already been living in Jackson for 2 years reporting for WLNS. I was the Jackson Bureau reporter, so I got really familiar with the city and the entire community, and I found out I really liked it here and wanted to stay. So I was happy to do that, and right when my contract was ending at Channel 6, the PIO job opened up at the City of Jackson, so I thought that was a perfect opportunity. I'd already been covering the community, knew a lot of people at the city, and knew a lot of people across Jackson County, so I thought it'd be a great fit for me, and turns out it has been. 5 years later, I'm still here.
Wow, 5 years.
Yeah.
And interestingly, you took the job over from a previous, from a former newsman, Will Forgrave.
Right.
So what does a PIO do?
Well, I'm the Public Information Officer and City Spokesperson, so I really help lead communication efforts for the city, internal and external communication. So primarily, I'm the main media contact for all the news organizations in the Lansing-Jackson area. So if they have requests from the city, they come to me, such as an interview or information. I put out news releases from the city about what's going on. I write and design and do the city newsletter that goes out 4 times a year. I manage all of our social media and our website, and I also do all of our video and photography, so there's always lots to do.
So essentially, while you were a multimedia journalist at Channel 6, you're using all the same things skills-wise at the PIO job.
Yeah, it was really a natural fit, and the best thing that I learned from news is time management. I have to do a lot of that in this job because there's so many different things that take my attention on a day-to-day basis or an hour-to-hour basis. So really getting down those communication skills and that time management from the news business really helped me excel in this position.
Since you've lived in Jackson, you got married, you met your future husband here in Jackson?
No, we'd met when I was in Kalamazoo and he was in Jackson, and actually a house fire brought us together, because we met on Tinder, and if anyone knows anything about Tinder, you have to be in a certain radius. So I had to go to Battle Creek to cover an arson, and then by going to Battle Creek, I was able to get in the radius of Jackson. So arson brought us together. No kidding.
I think, well, arson and social media, that's everyone, that's the way people meet these days, right?
Right.
Yeah, on dating apps.
So I ended up moving to Jackson to continue that relationship, and then started working in the news business here.
And Scott, he was already here.
Yeah, he was already here working for Commonwealth Cultural Resources, not the big Commonwealth, it used to be an offshoot of it, but he's an architectural historian, and now he works for the state of Michigan doing historic preservation. So he works in the State Historic Preservation Office. Cool.
You've talked on this show about some of your passions. You've become a triathlete.
Yes. I'd always wanted to do that. I was already accomplished runner and swimmer, had to get into the biking. So I thought I can do all 3 of these activities, so might as well put them together. Exercising is one of my favorite things. So, you know, what's an hour and a half of exercise really?
Yeah, that's an hour and a half.
Right.
And you had a little series on YouTube, a baking
Yeah.
segment, but
Yeah.
something happened that you had to get out of that. What was that?
Oh, I'm a man of many talents and many interests. I like to do something, put everything I can into it, and then I get satisfied and move on. So I did have a little pandemic cooking show, but decided I had my fun. It was time to do something else.
But didn't you discover that you were gluten intolerant and you couldn't bake anymore?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of part of it. Yeah, I have a wheat allergy.
Yeah.
I think it's important for people to know that when they see gluten-free items, for the majority of the time, it's not because people are, you know, watching their weight or, you know, have some kind of health conscious goal. It's really because people do have a wheat allergy. So I have a wheat allergy, so that means I'm gluten intolerant. So I'm 100% gluten free.
Oh, wow. All right, you brought some photos along, some of the things that are, I think, part of what you do with your job, but also with people for Parks and Trails. Are you going to use these snowplows this year?
We're waiting. As you can see there, they're all ready to go at the DPW garage. So I guess somewhat of a blessing from not having snow means we don't have to get our equipment out there. So that means we're saving money on salt, saving money on overtime, and our equipment isn't getting as banged up. So
Wow, we have
yeah.
nice trucks.
Yeah, we've really been replacing our fleet over the past couple years, and a lot of those new trucks are coming to the city from American Rescue Plan funds.
Nice. Well, I'm sure they'll be out with snowplows on them.
Certainly.
Actually, they do put some salt down on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it hasn't been as salty on the roads lately, but as you can see, our salt barn is full and ready to go. We usually do a couple orders of salt by now, but we're well outfitted with salt, so that will definitely be saving us money.
Mm-hmm. Next, we have, I think we'll talk about some of the parks things, both. This is part of your job, but also part of your nonprofit.
Yeah, so a lot of the photos that you see that are out in the media or on the city's social media, I go out there with my camera and I go snap, 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 and then I post them. So this is a photo that I took. Currently we're talking about Optimus Park and all the things that we're doing there. So people probably are familiar with it as the basketball park. It's the park with the basketball court at West and Argyle by Burger King. So we're actually shifting that park south because there was some adjacent property that was zoned commercial and it was never officially a park. So the city was able to sell that property to a real estate developer. So it's good for a lot of different reasons. There's going to be new businesses on West Avenue, more jobs, money coming into the community, and then with that money, we were able to totally reshape this park and bring it new life, which we really don't see very often. So new basketball court, playground, and a lot of different new features there too. And now there's also parking off Lincoln Street. That's actually how you can get to the park. So you can park your vehicle or walk up from Lincoln Street. So
yeah,
there's parking now.
Yeah, from West Ave you can walk to it, but you can't.
Right.
And then the city rec plan, master plan, it's you're wrapping up public comment on that pretty soon.
That's right. So today is the last day to review the plan and submit some comments on it. And then there is a meeting tonight at Ella Sharp Park Golf Course for final review. That's at 4 p.m. And you might notice someone there on the bike. That's me.
Well, that's a picture you didn't take.
No, my friend Del Belcher took it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you do the news, is quarterly?
Yeah, we do quarterly newsletter. I call it seasonally just because I think that sounds better. So winter 2024 hit mailboxes just before Christmas. And so this will be our newsletter through March. Then we'll do the spring newsletter. But I do the photography and all the writing for the newsletter as well. So I enjoy doing that.
Very nice. And people get it in the mail that are city residents.
Yep, we have every address in the city and they get a newsletter 4 times a year. So it's just a really great way to directly reach our residents and give them information that they need to know from the city and find out what's going on in their neighborhood.
And it's available to anyone. You pick one up at City Hall. You can pick one up here at JTV. We have a stack of them at the front desk.
That's right.
Yes. Also, your home during the major holidays has a lot of retro decorations.
Yeah.
Halloween and Christmas
Yep.
in particular, but that's you like history. That's a love of yours, but also design, the retro 50s style.
Mid-century modern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on Christmas Eve, you have a tradition,
I do.
right?
Yeah.
What is it?
One of my many hobbies is playing the electric organ. So I was lucky enough to get a free electric organ off Facebook Marketplace a couple years ago, and I taught myself how to play the organ.
Wait, you got a free electric organ on
Yeah.
Facebook?
Yeah. People are just giving away pianos and organs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if you want one, look at Facebook Marketplace. But I taught myself how to play the organ. So every Christmas I do a live stream concert for my family and friends. Started during the pandemic when we couldn't get together, and everyone said they really enjoyed it, helped bring some togetherness. So I've continued it. So sit down, do a couple numbers, tell some jokes, have a good time.
All right, coming next Christmas Eve for the next edition.
Maybe on JTV.
Maybe. Well, we did your chef series. We did a few of those during the
Yeah, that was great.
Now, how tall are you? Yeah.
I'm just a hair over 6'5".
6'5",
Yep.
And you're an athlete.
Yep.
Were you in sports in high school?
Oh yeah, I did 3 sports a year for 4 years.
Oh, really? What?
I did cross country, swimming, and track.
Oh, really? No basketball? With that height?
No, I'm not gifted with basketball. I have a lot of other athletic abilities, but basketball is not one of them.
All right. Well,
Yep.
watch for Aaron with city news and information, and also out biking, running, and swimming
Yep.
as he prepares for your next triathlon, which will be?
Next summer, early June in Lansing.
All
That's
right.
going to be the next one.
Thanks. Thanks for providing all the great information of the city to the community, and thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
City of Jackson Staff Spotlight with Public Information Officer Aaron Dimick. Next up on